G'day guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Pierre and this is Simple Home Brew. Welcome. I just want to let you know, if you're new to this channel, I am an amateur brewer. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning from the guys out there in the brew world. And I'm going to do a blonde today. So if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, say hi, and I hope you can win something because I've actually got a giveaway today. G'day guys, this video is brought to you by St, a homebrew store like no other, bringing you the latest in products and technology for your homebrew and hydroponic needs. Link in the description. So what I've got is a blonde, or Australian blonde by Morgan's. I have done a few Morgan's brews. Now the Morgan's brews have their own yeast in the kit. I'll pop this lid open. They have like a brewer's yeast. I don't know, I'll just drop that down there, okay? What it is, it just says it's brewer's yeast. It always says brewer's yeast. Oh no, this doesn't say brewer's yeast. This is just a number on the yeast, so really not keen on it. So I'm going to use a different yeast, sorry. So the yeast I'm going to use today is a lager yeast. Yes, I'm going to try and lager this at a low temperature. So I'm going to try to do that, as well as whack in some blonde body blend. This is from St. They've made this up themselves. It's got dextrose and maltodextrin. It's about 1 kilo. As you can see, the price is about $3, so that's pretty cool. Also, I'm going to dry hop it probably close to the end of fermentation, which we'll work on with the Tilt Hydrometer, so we know when the fermentation's getting close to the end. And I'm going to chuck it at the end so I get the most out of the hops I can. These hops are Strata Hops. Their crop year is 2019 and the alpha acid is 13.6%. It's about 25 grams. I'm going to just dry hop this to see if I can get a flavour out of it. I've never smelt this. Can't smell it through the packet, so I'm going to find out. These have been in the fridge all this, you know. These are just being taken out of the fridge, so we'll see how we go with that. I'm also going to do a giveaway, of these Strata Hops. There's 25 grams of hops. I'm going to send it to one of you guys out there. I'm just going to randomly pick somebody. Hopefully you guys will win something. And of course, giveaways are great, aren't they, really? But there's only one winner. So the only winner who's going to get this is someone who says, "Hop me Pierre." It's a bit like the Mead me Pierre, but you got to say, "Hop me Pierre" in the comments. And I'll do a random pick like I did before, but I'm not going to do it live anymore. And I'll basically throw it at you. So if you want to win it, it's yours. So what I'm doing today is an extract brew. An extract brew is basically a can of malt, which has been pre-made. It's just pretty much wort, pre-done, and then reduced to like a molasses. But with it, to increase the alcohol volume a little bit, you add a little bit of sugar. So sometimes you'll just put dextrose, or sometimes you'll put maltodextrin or a dry malt extract or something like that to add to it. Today we're going to put dextrose and maltodextrin in. So that's about 1 kilo of that. Also, we're going to dry hop it with Strata Hops, as I just mentioned. And we're actually throwing aside the yeast that they supply with the can, because basically it's not as good as some of the yeasts out there. And we're going to end up lagering it instead. So that's going to be an interesting flavour. We're experimenting, so I hope you don't mind. I have to heat this guy up, so I'm going to boil the kettle to boiling point, to 100 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to pour that into a container that can hold my extract. I'm going to leave it in the container for 20 minutes at least, so I can heat the extract up, so I can pour it out into my fermenter, which is coming up. All right, the kettle's on, and we're going to boil that up to 100 degrees Celsius and pour it into a container so I can heat up my extract. All right, so I'm ready to put the hot water in. This is about 2 litres of hot water. So I'm going to throw it in on top of this can of extract. It is very hot, and I must warn you, if you're going to do this, be really careful. It can damage you and potentially cause a lot of harm. So I'll leave that running in there. I'll leave that sitting there to soak up some of the heat. I was hoping I had a bit of a lid or something to put on, but I don't. So I'll just leave it like that. Hopefully it'll heat up enough that I can pour it out without strain. We've got an unhappy dog or a dog that's happy to see somebody. So I'll get back to you soon. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly rinse out the carboy with a bit of sanitizer. So with that, I'm going to pour the sanitizer out into my sanitizer saving pot. I save my sanitizer. A lot of people, you throw it out, but it's just a pain in the butt. And with water restrictions in this part of the world, I'm better off just doing it like this. Okay, so that's empty, ready to go. Don't fear the foam, of course. So what I'm going to have to do is boil some more hot water, put into a jug and stir my dextrose and mix it up so it's a fluid, a liquid. So this dextrose at the moment is a powder. So dextrose and maltodextrin, this is a powder. So this will need to be put into a container of some type, a heat-proof container. You need to boil some water, probably a couple of litres, maybe more, depending on the temperature of your water in the taps. And I'm going to need a container, aren't I? I have a container. I have a container. I'll be back. So I have this container, which is my 3 litre container. I'm going to boil another 2 litres of hot water in this container so that I can dissolve my dextrose and maltodextrin. So I'll do that right now. While that's boiling, I'm going to pour my maltodextrin into my jug, which I need to sanitize. Well, it doesn't matter, it'll be hot water anyway, so that's sanitized. So I'll just peel the top off. Oh, that ended up in the pot. So we'll just peel this top off. So the reason why I'm doing it like this is this actually, I found that watching other brewers, and myself of course, and someone gave me a hint saying pour the maltodextrin or the dextrose into the jug before putting hot water in so you don't get that coagulation around the lip of the bag. What a great idea. How stupid am I not to do that in the first place? So I'll pour that in here. And what's going to happen is I'll pour my hot water in there. And that hot water will dissolve all that sugar and make it a liquid. Then we'll go from there. All right, guys, the kettle is boiled. I'm just going to pour this in. I've never done it this way. I thought I'd try something different. Now, like I said, this jug is heat-proof, which is, I hope it is. It hasn't shown any signs of being, or not being heat-proof. So I'm just going to pour the lot in. It doesn't matter. That'll do. You know, it's funny, it just occurred to me that you could hear what I was watching. So, sorry about that. It's all right. It's nothing serious. Anyway, so what I've got is a Camden tablet. Now, I put 1 Camden tablet into my hot water, which I'm pretty sure it works. You'll tell me if it doesn't. But I'm going to pop it in here to dissolve in the hot water. And that will dissolve and it will help neutralise the chlorine and chloramine in my water. Now, thank you to Finru. I've already thanked him in another video. He pointed out that boiling the water doesn't get rid of chloramine. Boiling water does, but over an hour. So you, like he said, you don't want to be boiling your water for an hour before you add your grains or you add your brew. So you're better off putting the Camden tablet in just to get rid of the chlorine and chloramine that's in your water. It's just municipal town water. It purifies your water, makes it nice. So as it's dissolving, I now will need to open my can of extract, which has been soaking for nearly 15 minutes now. So it should have enough warmth so I can pour it. Now the biggest issue I have is the opening in my fermenter. Now I'm using a carboy as a fermenter today just to see how it goes. I do have a funnel which is sanitized, or will be sanitized. And this funnel will be my catalyst for pouring this stuff in. So it's going to be interesting as to how good this goes. So we'll see how we go, hey? So what I need is 23 litres of wort all up. So I know I have 2.5 litres of maltodextrin and dextrose ready dissolved in water, hot water. I have a 1.7 litre can of malt extract, which is blonde, Australian blonde. So I'm going to need to add extra water, and I need to measure this because I don't have an increment measurement for my carboy that I'm putting it into. So what I've got is this. This is my water measuring contraption. It is pretty accurate. I had it changed. The first one I got wasn't very good, but this one is absolutely brilliant. So I will pop in the measurements that I need, and I'll actually pour it directly from the hose straight into my carboy. So that's coming up. So I've just sanitised that. I'll pop that on there. That's ready to go. This is interesting. It's going to be a bit annoying because it's going to take some time to pour it, but it's entertaining for you. So I'll just take this little can out here. You can hopefully see this. And I'll proceed to open it. Now I like to open these cans upside down. Get it out of the way. I like to open these cans upside down because there's a little bit of sticky residue on here from the yeast that they supply with it. So I'll just basically open it up like this. So we'll just quickly open this up with the can opener. Now I used to use electronic can opener, as some of you who watch my channel have seen. That was a bit annoying. The battery went flat, pardon me. The battery went flat, it wore out. So I'll do it by hand. It's not hard. I'll just turn it a few times and it works just fine. Have a look at this. Oh, it does smell like it's got some hops in it, which is nice. So you, my friend, ready to pour. Here we go. So this is different. I've never done it this way before. And I'm pretty sure you guys are all going to laugh at me because I'm an idiot. But it's entertaining, isn't it? It's different. As you can see, this is slow going. I'll speed it up so you don't have to wait for it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is this maltodextrin, it's good rinsing aid. So I'm going to rinse out this can with a bit of maltodextrin, and it's actually hot. I just realised, and I forgot. Oh, great fun. So I'm going to stir that in a little bit, try and get out all the extra malt that I've got left behind in the can. And this will also help rinse. And I must say, this can is actually hot. I should have used something to protect my hands. I'll just put a cloth around it so I don't burn myself. Why don't I learn? Okay, that's nearly all of it. So far the carboy has not cracked. It is still warm water going in. So I'll now pop in 2.5 litres and 1.7 litres. Just get the trusty old phone out. Bugger doing that in my head. Oh, 2.5, 1.7. Look, it's 3.2. So I have 3.2 litres of fluid already in the carboy. I now need to add another 19.8 litres. I'll now put that into my filometer and see how good it does. So bring this carboy down where I can actually work and we'll go from there. Guys, I have a video coming up on how I installed my filometer. It is basic, simple, and it's no plumbing involved. So just so you guys can see what I'm doing here, that's still working. I'm setting up my filometer. So press set until you reach the fill mark. I need 19 litres, so we're right there. It's 1. So it's 10s. Need to go back to 19. 19, I need to bring that up to 9. And And I said 9.2 litres, didn't I? So that's it. 9.2 or 19.2. So 1, 2. So that now is set to what I need to fill it at from here on in. So what I'm going to do now, fill my carboy up to the 23 litres recommended for this brew. So here we go. Oh, need to press start. It is measuring. So I'm just cleaning out the funnel for now, just to get it clear. I just wanted to rinse that to make sure all the extract is in there. So now we fill it up. That can be left. The filler meter should fill that up to, oh, it's going to foam up. So it's probably going to go, I might have to, oh, I don't know. We'll be right. We'll work it out. So I'll get back to you guys. I'll put this on high speed. See you in 5 seconds. All right, I've come to a standstill. I didn't expect it to foam up as much as it did. I should have known, really, I should have known. But now I have to wait until the foam settles down. I've set up the filler meter to go to 19.2 litres. Now I've filled it up to 18.3. So we're about 900 mil away from being at our max. I reckon it's enough. It's full enough. As you can see, it's full enough. And I think it's probably good that I don't go that high. I'll keep it at 22 litres or 22.3 litres. And that should be enough to ferment it out and make it taste nice anyways. Now I'm going to add the yeast. So as you know, I've got premium lager yeast. It's a premium series by Brew, and it's going to be fermented at 18 degrees Celsius. Now it does say on here to rehydrate the yeast, and that's to get the maximum benefit out of it. I'm not going to do that. It's not overly necessary. You get the best results if you do. I have done rehydrating, and I haven't seen any kind of benefit out of doing that. So I'm just going to tear it open, and let me tell you now, I have a lot of foam in here because I do need to do this differently later. But geez, I hope this comes out good. This is very interesting, very different. I don't know many of you who've done this before, and I'm hoping that you like what I'm doing right now. I know I'm a bit worried about it. So this is my lager yeast. It's very, very mild in smell. It really doesn't smell bad at all, not like some of the other ones. Especially the one they supply with it is a very strong smell. So what I'm going to do is just whack this in, just like this. Drop it straight down the centre in the foam. Now that will rehydrate anyway. And again, it's an experimental brew. I'm just having fun. If it doesn't work out, no loss on me. Thank you to Verhulsdonk for supplying this product for me to play with. And I really appreciate it that I can have a bit of a play and have fun, really. So what I'll do is I'll just twirl it around a little bit, just to get it around a little. Now, this obviously is very aerated, so it's got a lot of oxygen in it. I haven't added anything else to it. I just need now to put an airlock on. I'm going to whack this airlock. It smells nice. Fill it up with sanitizer. So we need to just fill it up a bit, probably halfway. So I'll pop that on here, just like this. So this is ready to go. This is going to start fermenting soon, probably another day or two. It is a lager, so it's lager yeast, so it's going to activate very slowly, 24 hours to 48 hours before it really starts getting going. I'm going to leave it at 18 degrees Celsius in my fermenting fridge for at least 2 weeks. Once it gets down to, oh, I did forget to do something. I forgot something. You guys should have reminded me. All right, it occurred to me that I need to put my Tilt Hydrometer in. Now, there's a lot of foam in there, so it's going to be a bit of a misreading at the start. Pretty stupid for me to do what it did. It doesn't matter. It will give me an average, or it won't give me an accurate reading, but it'll give me some sort of reading, which that's all I need for now. So this Tilt Hydrometer needs to be sanitized. So I'll just spray a sanitizer over it. It's the first time I've ever used this, so bear with me. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes. So this Tilt Hydrometer will drop into my brew and sit about like that. Now I'm going to drop it in. It's in. You can't see it. I'm sorry, you can't see it. It will settle, and I'll give you some photos of it later, or some video. But now I've got to connect to my phone or my tablet to see what it actually reads. So I now need to add the Tilt Hydrometer app. I'll probably just show you on my tablet. I'll just turn you around. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. This is my tablet. This is Tilt coming up, boink. So this little baby is going to look for my Tilt. And this is going to be, it's telling me to set the beer name. So I'm going to just set Blonde as the beer name. Set beer name. Enter logging URL. Now I need to add a URL if I wanted to have the readout on my, let's say, Brewfather or something like that. But I'll do that later. This is Australian Blonde with Strata Hops. This is the one I'm actually doing. So that's good. That's good. So I'll keep that. Post comment, original gravity, red, tar and water, blah, blah, blah. Use Celsius because we're in Australia, and so on and so forth. So there you go. So the specific gravity is 1.033. That's what it's reading at the moment. The temperature of the water is 20 degrees Celsius, which is dropping, as you can tell. I will now put this into the fridge. I have calibrated the tilt, and it's running exactly how it should be. So this will now keep connected to the tilt and hopefully give me updates all the time so I can watch it and see what's going on with it. So guys, what I've done is I'll set the controller up to 18 degrees Celsius. So hang on, I'll show you how that happens. F1. So F1 is set to 18 degrees Celsius, and that will stay at 18 degrees Celsius because at the moment it's 19.9, because I have a temperature lead on the fermenter at the moment to show me what temperature it's sitting at. Not accurate, but good enough. And a heat belt to heat it up if the temperature gets too low. There's a plus or minus of, I think, half a degree or a degree in the fermentation, but that's fine. Look, I'm not a professional. I'm not going to make a brilliant brew. I just want to make a nice one. So hopefully it turns out well. As you can see, guys, the specific gravity is sitting at 1.33, which is low. It is a blonde, so it's going to have low sugar levels. And it's at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, the unit that I'm using reads 19.9. So how good is that? That's pretty accurate for my liking. Sorry about the wavy thing. 19.9. So that's pretty good for what I like. So what I found is the tilt has slowed down. It's now at 10.006 in fermentation. It's been going for about 6 days at 18 degrees, or we're up at 17.8 according to the tilt. Here's a bit of information. So what I'll do is just show you there that the gravity now is 0.006 at 17.8 degrees Celsius. My little tilt, I don't know if you can see it, right in the corner there. Hopefully I'm not talking too loud for you. It's just floating around. As you can see, the beer is still fermenting, so we've got bubbles still happening in the fermenter. So what I want to do now is add some Strata Hops. Now, Strata Hops have been given to me by Cellars, and I'm giving one of these away to you guys. So remember, at the end of this is just hop me, Pierre, in the comments. And I'll draw a name from anyone who says that and send it to you guys. So what I'll do, I'll just open up the packet and I'll get back to you. So I'll just quickly open up the pack. Like I said, it's from Cellars. These guys are supporting this channel, so I'm happy to promote their company. It is a good company, a good place to go to for your online brew gear and also local. So what I'm going to do is pop a little caption over here just to explain to you what Strata hops do to your beer. And they're quite a good smell. I can smell citrus in there. Oh, it does smell very nice. So I'm hoping this will give my blonde a bit of a bite of citrus for a more summery drink. So we'll see how we go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off that little cap just quickly and pour my Strata hops in. These Strata hops apparently are relatively new on the market. So I'm happy to give 25 grams of Strata hops straight into my Morgan's thing. I've just lost a couple of pieces, which is a pain in the butt to pour. I should have probably put in a measuring spoon or something. All right, we're done with it. So I've got a little bit stuck around the edges up here. I know I'm an amateur cook. I know I'm an amateur brewer, and that's apparently what I do, and that's why I have this channel. So this is a simple brew, and I've just whacked in these Strata hops, and I'm hoping that will bring a different flavour out in the beer. So we'll see how we go with it. So next step, kegging and tasting. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been 2.5, nearly 3 weeks now since I put that brew on. I'm going to transfer it now into my keg the old-fashioned way. I'm going to siphon it in there, and I don't have an auto siphon, so I'm going to do it the hard way. I have now purged my keg with CO2. So I filled it up with CO2 from my gas regulator and purged all the oxygen out. So the CO2 is a heavier gas than air. So it'll sit to the bottom of your keg, and as you purge the air out, the CO2 will take its place and fill up. So this should now have no oxygen, well, little oxygen in there. So hopefully my brewer will be oxygen free. So our Tilt Hydrometer came up with 0.001 ABV. So I'll just get into my app here and have a look at what its readout is. So if you guys can see that, there we go. So that's the readout. It's showing 0.002, sorry, and it's at, what was that, 6.1 degrees. So the temperature is going up. It was at 1.1 degrees when I first took it out of the fridge. So it's been sitting for half an hour or so. So the temperature has gone up. I want to transfer it into the keg before it goes any higher, and also test the hydrometer to see how accurate it is. So that's another little thing I want to do. Now, a lot of people have been talking about online on Brewfather and getting it to link there and having a chart and all the the process of watching it go through all the settings and steps for 2 weeks of their fermentation. But it's really hard work. You've got to leave the tablet on. You've got to leave the screen on, which shuts down all the time. I just can't do it. I have an issue with that, and there's got to be a way of doing it. I don't know yet, but I will be practicing, and I am going to buy this because I like it. So anyway, here we go. We've got our fermenter, which is just finished fermenting. Everything's settled to the bottom now. We have our keg, which has been purged of all air, or most air anyway. And what I'm going to do, and I am risking getting oxygen in it, but this is the only way I can do it at the moment because I've done it an old-fashioned way. I've done an old-fashioned way of fermenting my beer, which is just for experiment purposes. So right now, I have my sanitised pipework, and I'm going to pop this in the lid here. Yeah, dilute. Now the lid's been sanitised as well. Actually, the lid's been sanitised. So all I need to do is slide it down beside there and try and get as close to the bottom as possible. in my clean keg and pop this end into my brew. So I'm going to pop that up there. So the only issue I have is I don't want it to touch the bottom. I reckon I'm going to get away with that. It's not touching the bottom. Looking pretty good. All right. So the scary part is I've got to suck this beer out so that, and I don't want it to go too hard. And it worked well. Look at that. I didn't get any in my mouth. And we now have a siphon happening. So guys, in the photo, you saw that the reading was around about 10.005 or 4 on the old scale, old gauge, and on the Tilt Hydrometer, we had 10.00, 2 or 3, kept changing a bit because of the temperature change. Look, don't know which one's more accurate, but it doesn't matter. I can get the idea on how much alcohol it created, and now I'm going to try it. It smells beautiful and hoppy. Do smell the yeast in it, but I need to let it sit for another week or two to age a little. But let's see how it tastes like. Oh, it's got a little bit of carbonation, just a small amount, bitterness, beautiful bitterness. Strange aftertaste. Morgans have noticed that all their extracts have a similar flavour, like almost like a salt in the brew, but it doesn't taste too bad. It's going to be a very tasty brew. We're going to age that for a little while, see how it goes. We'll put some carbonation in it and we'll see how it goes. It's almost cidery. It's not the beer I think I was looking for, but that could be because of the hops too. So we'll see how it ages and see how much the hops retain their flavour and smell, and I'll do a taste test, maybe live in the future. So thanks guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching me do this brew. I hope you enjoyed the process. It was different, something I don't normally do. And I hope to bring you another one soon. Thanks guys, we'll see you later on.